everyone, my name is Lindsay and I am the creator of Dwelling Digital Resources. I'm really excited to share with you today more about the grocery budget tracker that I have available over on my Etsy store. It is a fully automated Google Sheets template that helps you to track your grocery spending throughout the month, so that way you can stay on track and on budget and know how much you have available to spend when you go to the grocery store. It was something I created about 3 years ago out of necessity for my own family when we were consistently going over budget. We were trying to be intentional with our spending, and in so many other areas, we were doing a great job. But the grocery spending was a tricky one because there's so many purchases throughout the month, and it was hard for me to fully stay on track with how much I had available to spend when I went to the grocery store, and I would end up going over. I wanted something that was really simple, and so I put my love for Google Sheets to work and created this resource. And it's been a blessing to my family, and it's been a blessing to hundreds of others who have been able to use it as well. I'm going to share a little bit more about how it works, and if this is something that would be a blessing to you, you can hop over to my Etsy store and grab your copy too. Thanks. To get started, you're going to go down and choose the tab for the month that you're starting in. We're going to choose September for now. Next, you're going to go to your dashboard. Where the dark cells are is where you're going to be inputting information to kind of build your tracker. First, you're going to input what your total monthly budget is. My family, we usually spend about $800 in a month. Next, you're going to put in how many weeks there are in the month. This really depends on when you do your grocery shopping during your week. So just take a look at the calendar to figure out if it's a 4 or 5 week month. If you have a 5-week month, I would suggest either increasing your total budget, or you're going to need to work with a smaller weekly budget. So just be aware of that and adjust to whatever makes sense for you. We're going to put in a 4 for now. Next, you're going to put in the weekly minimum amount that you need to set aside for, the items that you buy each week, maybe some of your different meals. So whatever the minimum is for you. My family, for us, it's about $125. The monthly minimum is going to be the minimum amount you want to set aside for bulk purchases, pantry items that you use throughout the month. This might be, an extra large bag of coffee that you're going to use for the month from Costco, maybe a big tub of butter that you're going to use throughout the month, a big jar of olive oil, things like that, it's cheaper to buy it in bulk, but it is also more expensive because it's in bulk, and it would eat up a big chunk of your weekly budget if you were trying to put it into your weekly budget. So it's really up to you what you want to put in there. We do a lot of our Costco trip goes into our monthly minimum. So I'm going to set aside $200 for that. So once I've done that, this variable budget is going to turn red just to let me know, hey, you need to do something with this extra $100 that you have left over in your budget once the minimums have been set aside. So with this $100, you have 3 different options. You can either put it in your monthly purchases, which if I click that, it's going to put all that $100 over here, going to be $300. The other option is that you can divide it into your weekly purchases. So instead of having 125 for my weekly budget, I'm going to have 150. The other option is to divide it amongst the weekly purchases and monthly purchases, which is what I personally usually like to do. So for this purpose, we're going to have divided. You do have to pick one of those options, though, in order for the budget to populate correctly. So once I've done that too, the variable budget's not going to be red anymore. I've gotten that part taken care of. Now that you've kind of built your tracker, you are all set to go. You can start inputting receipts as you have purchases made. So we're going to go down here and do a sample one. we're going to say, for example, maybe on week 1, I go to Kroger and I spend, $105. Okay, that is going to populate over onto week 1. It's going to automatically take out, let me know I have $32.50 left for week 1. Now, if I go back over to the receipt, it's automatically going to put $0 in monthly and miscellaneous, but you can override that. So if there's a portion of that receipt that was a monthly purchase, maybe you bought, we'll just say, an extra large tub of butter at Kroger, you're going to use that for the whole month. And so we put $5. Oops, not 500, goodness, $5 here. It's going to subtract that out of my weekly budget, and it's going to put that over here into the monthly purchase category. The other item, area, miscellaneous, would be for anything that is not a part of your grocery budget that was a part of this purchase. So, for example, I like to separate household cleaning supplies and personal items. I budget those separately from my groceries. Some people like to budget those together. However you like to do it is up to you, and this budget tracker will totally work for that. But if there's anything that you do not want to be included as part of this tracker, you can put that into the miscellaneous category. So say, for example, that I bought some toothpaste and some shampoo as part of this Kroger order, and I don't want that calculated in. I can put down here, I spent $12, and I want to take that out. That's auto going to take all of that out. I do like to, down here in the notes, make note of what that was, so that way I can keep track. So feel free to utilize this down here. All right, now let's say I also went to Aldi, and at Aldi I spent $30, and all of that was for weekly. So that's all set, good to go. I have $19.50 left in week 1. The cool thing to do is if you have an extra, you can click here and that's going to roll over into your next week. And so now I have an extra large budget for next week. And that's going to roll over each time whenever you click, just to let it know you're done for the week. It's going to roll that over. Now the same is true with the monthly purchases. So if I have, let's say I do a big Costco trip and I spend $200, and all 200 of that was monthly purchases. That's going to go over here. I have $45 left, but maybe I got everything that I need for the monthly purchases and I'm all done with that that area. I can click here. It's going to empty it out, and it's going to roll that $45 over to this week 1 rollover, and I'm going to then be able to be used for my weekly purchases going forward. So that is how you use the tracker itself. Now, if I am all done for the month, I'm going to close out the month down here in this bottom corner, and that is going to send information over to the Overview tab. So the Overview tab is a great place to kind of see the trends in your spending. I can come here and see, okay, this was my budget for each of these months. On average, I am budgeting around $801. I can see, okay, on average, I am spending about $801. I can see here, okay, I am going over budget sometimes, staying under budget sometimes. On average, I'm spending about $124 each week. So, if that's more than I'm budgeting or less than I'm budgeting, I can kind of adjust and know, hey, this is about what I'm spending. I either need to pull back my spending or I need to adjust my budget. I can see how much I'm spending on monthly bulk purchases, about on average how many trips I'm making per week to the grocery store. So hopefully this is just helpful information to help guide your decisions and setting your budget, um, changing your spending habits. I hope it's educational. Down here, there's also just a little extra information where you can see where you spend your money. I can see, okay, this is about how much I'm spending at Costco, Kroger, Aldi. Some of these other places that I'm really only going to occasionally. The next tab is this list tab that this one is not connected with any of the other tabs. So really this is something that if you like it, great, utilize it. If it's not for you, that's okay. You can just kind of set it aside. This is to help you to know what you're spending money on a weekly basis and a monthly basis. Kind of what are your staples? What are you spending money on every week? So that way you don't have to remember, oh, did I get milk on the list? Did I get bread on the list? Did I get this on the list? This on the list? You can kind of remember. So you can put in here, hey, for Kroger, Aldi, Costco, here are things that I am buying every week. And it's going to automatically put this stuff over here. So maybe I buy cheese at Aldi and it's usually about $3. So over here, it's going to automatically put cheese under my Aldi list. Maybe down here, you can kind of watch. I always like to buy a big bag of popcorn at Costco, and it's about $5. I was going to put popcorn on my list down here. So down up here, it's going to kind of let you know, okay, based on what you buy every month, you need to kind of put this much aside to make sure that you have the funds available for your regular purchases. So that is how you use the grocery budget tracker. Kind of show you one, a month that is complete. Here's July. Okay, see if I go over, it's gonna let me know. It's gonna turn red on me. That was just a crazy week, obviously, but I was able to make up for it the next week and stay in budget still. But it is gonna kind of let you know, like, hey, you went over budget. But this is kind of what a full month is gonna look like. Here's another example. So I hope that this tool is super helpful for you. Thank you so much for trying it out. I hope you are able to stay on budget and that this serves your family really well. Thanks. Bye.